and welcome to episode 201 of the Ask the Coach show, where PingSkills helps you improve your table tennis. 201 in binary, 11001 is the title of an episode of Star Trek: The New Generation. It's Technique Tuesday, and we'll be discussing attacking with long pimples. In the questions, we talk about the new coaching rule coming in next year, using your body when playing a forehand, whether getting excited helps you play better, and using a bat that's too fast. And don't forget that this week we are running a competition where you could win a premium membership. I'm Jeff Plum, and as always, Supercoach Alois Rosario is here with me to answer your questions. Good morning, Alois.
Morning, Jeffrey, and how are you this morning?
Yes, I'm very good, thank you. I'm excited this week because of our competition, Alois, giving away a premium membership. Well, actually, 5 premium memberships. So, yeah. And to win that membership, you just got to get involved, answer the PingSkills question of the day, and at the end of the week, the 5 people we choose from each day will go into a draw. One of them will win a yearly membership, and all the others will get a monthly. So it's pretty exciting.
It is indeed. So, so we had a few responses to our question of the day for yesterday. So, and that was, what has been the highlight of the first 200 Ask the Coach shows? So on Facebook, we had Ilya saying the number facts. I just don't get that.
Yes, Ilya.
And Sammy said, every time Jeff says indeed.
Indeed. I mean, that is a highlight.
Mark Taylor said guest appearances. And I think in our shows, Mark Taylor has been the only guest appearance that we've had. So we had Mark in talking about how to improve your club. So yes. Yeah, thanks for that, Mark. Igor said the regular banter Alois gives to Jake Balestrino. Poor old Jake. And Dana said, it indeed has been the number facts. How about throwing in some this day in table tennis history facts in the future shows? Good idea, Dana. And Johanna said the highlight is the interaction between Alois and Jeffrey. Yeah, maybe. And and on the blog, we had a few responses. So Nigel also said the highlight for me is listening to your banter and picking up some useful table tennis tips. I'm glad we're actually providing some table tennis tips here over breakfast before going to work. Now, Jean said, absolutely no doubt on that one. Obviously, it has to be Jeff's jokes.
Yes, Jean. Excellent.
But
he's got to be a contender for the winner of the show, Alois.
Yeah, actually at the bottom of the list. And Dieter. And Dieter says, for me personally, the highlight was the pronunciation of, I've got to get this right, Nuitink. Probably got that wrong completely again. But for all of us, I think it must have been when Brock finally beat the tall guy. So
Jeff, wasn't that great?
It was.
Time, but finally he got there.
Yeah. So Jeff, what do you think?
Well, you know, listening to that Brock, when Brock finally beat the tall guy, it was just an incredible moment on the show. I think, you know, it has to be Dieter.
Yeah, me too. I think it has to be Dieter. And sorry, Jean, you're at the bottom of the list nominating Jeff's jokes. So
close second, Jean.
Close 200th. So Dieter, you are the first winner of the competition for the PingSkills question of the day answer. So well done. You will go into the draw at the end of the week for a yearly membership, but you're guaranteed a monthly membership. So
yeah, so stay tuned. Next Monday, we'll announce all the winners again and the yearly member. All right, Alois, that is, that's good. I think we should move on to the PingSkills question of the day and give everyone else another opportunity to win a membership. So the question is, what changes need to be made to the service rule? So get involved, jump. Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Opening up a can of worms.
Yes. So jump onto our Facebook page or onto our blog at PingSkills.com and leave your answer. What changes need to be made to the service rule? And like we said, your chance to win a PingSkills Premium membership. So get involved. All right, Alois. It is Technique Tuesday. What are we talking about today?
Today we have the long pimple attack. So it's not really pertinent to a lot of people as far as playing, but it also applies on the reverse if you're playing against a long pimple. So when you have long pimples on the backhand, there's some long pimples for you. It's sometimes a good idea to be able to attack the ball. And probably the easiest ball for you to attack is actually when your opponent puts some backspin on the ball. So when they put some backspin on the ball, it comes in and it goes out with topspin. So that actually allows you to attack or come over the top of that ball relatively easily. And it's a shot that I think a lot of long pimple players don't use enough. So a lot of long pimple players will just, push the ball back. And especially if someone's putting backspin on the ball, and if you push the ball's going to go back fairly simply with a little bit of topspin and give your opponent too much time. So this now allows you to attack the ball. And it's almost the same as doing a counter hit with inverted rubber, because the spin coming out of your racket is topspin. So all you need to do is you can come either straight forward and really punch forward on it that way, or you can come forward and up a little bit as well to get over the top of that ball too. So a really effective stroke. And as I said, I don't think enough long pimple players use this stroke. So you try to utilize this if you're playing with long pimples. On the reverse side, so if you're playing against long pimples, just be aware of this stroke. So if you're pushing to the long pimples, understand that the ball's going to come back with topspin. And if you give them a simple backspin ball and they punch through the ball, it can be a difficult ball for you as well. So yeah, a really interesting stroke. If you're using long pimples, experiment with it. Give it a try, punch through it. Can be really effective. I mean, Jusei Hyuk does it so well. Off a backspin serve, he'll come in and he'll really punch forward on it and put a lot of pressure on the attacker as well.
Yeah, certainly. And we have a video on this, and so I'll put a link into the show notes. Check it out. Well worth watching, even if you're not a long pimple user yourself. But if you are, like Alois said, experiment around. I mean, you've got these long pimples to try and confuse people, so this is just one tool in your arsenal.
Yeah, so this is a video that's just been made available to our free members, but you do have to be a member to view this video. So go along to the Strokes and Techniques page, and you'll see next to it, it's got a little M on it, which meaning that that if you're a member, you can watch it.
Excellent. Yep. And if you're not a member, sign up for our free account, pingskills.com, and you can get lots of videos that are available for free. Plus, you'll get our newsletter, weekly tips every week, which is very popular. All right, Alois, I want to know what happened on this day in history.
Yeah, and this is one that I actually remember. It's December the 8th, 1980, and it was the death of John Lennon. So I remember it really clearly because I remember I was in Japan at the time, and I was sitting in a school library, and I opened up the paper, and it's all in Japanese. And the only thing I could recognize was there's a little picture of John Lennon with his birth and death day, basically. So I worked out pretty quickly that John Lennon had died. So yeah, that was 1980, December the 8th.
Wow, there you go. I was recently in New York, Alois, and there's a little memorial in Central Park for him, just across from where he got killed. So yeah, a very interesting fact, and still quite sad, I guess.
Yeah, very memorable day.
Yes. All right. Well, let's move on to the questions, Alois. And first up,
Jeff,
yes.
yeah. So, like, I think with John Lennon and the death and that sort of stuff, like it's really interesting to note, like the things that you can remember in history. Like, I mean, I can remember back, 1980, like that sort of stuff. But like sometimes I can't remember what happened yesterday, and often I can't remember things that like my opponents can do and can't do. And I think that's a really good thing that we have with the vault. With people with memory like mine, the vault is fantastic for just putting things down and remembering, like, I played Jeff yesterday, I beat him really easily, and these are the things that I have to do.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, the vault is available for everyone to use. Alois does have a premium lesson where he does go and show how he thinks he would beat me. So for premium members, check out that. It just shows you how to use the vault. But yeah, you're right, Alois. It is a great tool. If you got something that works, write it down, put it in the vault, and then you can always go back and look at it later. All right. Let's talk about this question from Mike D, who says, a new coaching rule will be implemented next October 2016, which will allow coaching in between points. What do you think of this new rule? And also, do you think this will be the door to legalize all side coaching during a match?
Yeah, I don't like it. But having said that, I've spoken to a few people that have seen trials of it and, been involved in trials, and they said it just works and it's all okay. Yeah. I mean, for me, two players playing each other, it's about those two players on the table and their abilities and how they can play against each other. I mean, I think the less sideline coaching, the better. I mean, let's go the other way. Just take away coaches during matches altogether, and let's get the players thinking things through, and let's see what they can actually bring to the table. I mean, it's not me and the guy on the sidelines telling me what to do. It's me playing Jeff, easy match, but it's me playing Jeff, and just trying to work out for myself what I can do.
Yeah, it's interesting. This rule, I don't think it allows them to give detailed instructions, does it? It's meant to be they can just shout something out, but they can't disrupt the play. Is that how you read the new rule?
Yeah, well, they can't. They can't yell out during the points, but in between points, I mean, I can yell out, "Come on, Jeff! You need to play. More topspins to his forehand." And when you come over to the corner, I can just tell you, Jeff, I want you to serve this one wide to his forehand. I mean, I want Jeff to work that out himself. I know he's probably not going to, but I want him to be able to start to think for himself, not me telling him what to do.
Interesting. Yeah. All right. Well, it's coming in, another change. So let's just see how it plays out. Yes.
As I said, I mean, people that have been through the experience of the trials and things have actually said, well, it's all okay. It works pretty well. And yeah, again, and usually I'm good with changes with rules and things. I don't mind changes coming in. I just don't like the principle of this one.
Yeah. And tennis is the opposite, like you said. There's no coaching at all in the Grand Slams and most of the ATP tournaments.
Yeah, but the coaches are giving signals to players, right? I mean, it is happening.
True. And Davis Cup is different. In between each game or each change of ends in Davis Cup, the coaches can talk to them. So
yeah,
that's a different approach.
The one thing I'll say in favor of this rule is that it does, I suppose, even up the playing field so that coaches or players that are having that interaction, with signals or with or whatever in between points now, it's basically out on the table, and it's evening up the playing field. So that is something in favour.
Yeah, indeed. All right. Next question is from Norman, who says, do you not only have to move your arm to generate the forehand, do you also have to move your body while playing a forehand?
Yeah. So Norman, when we teach the forehand to start off with, we focus a lot on the movement of the arm. So that's probably your first step. So we talk a lot about the start position and finish position. Then as you start to advance your forehand and progress, then you can start to think a little bit more about your body, your legs, your wrist, all those sorts of things as well. And we have a video on the advanced forehand topspin to help you to start to understand those other bits of the body that you're going to be able to start to use with your forehand as well. So yeah, definitely as you advance your forehand, we are bringing in all of our body to help us and to generate more speed, more spin, whatever it is. So yes.
Yeah, and recently on the show, you also talked about the free arm and how that can help you, Alois.
Indeed, Jeff. Indeed.
Indeed. All right. So good question, Norman. We'll put a link in the show notes to that video, so check it out, and I think that will help you a lot. Tusha has said, Coach, do you think that expressing our excitement after every point increases our chances of winning or getting more points?
Not convinced, Tusha. I think that if a player is always, up and yes and show, and I think one, you're wasting a lot of energy, and two, it can get you a little bit high on the excitement scale. So when you start to get a little bit higher on the excitement scale, then your thinking doesn't become as clear, or becomes less clear. So I think it depends for each person. Some players operate well when they're up there and doing that, but other players don't. So other players get themselves too excited and too worked up, and then their thinking will actually drop off, and then their performance will actually drop off. We've got information on this in our sports psychology section on the inverted U curve, which reflects the relationship between your excitement level and your performance. So take a look at that and what's available there, and it'll explain a lot to you. So I don't think a lot of players can operate at that high level of intensity and excitement when they're playing. It expends a lot of energy, and over a full day tournament or over a tournament like 5 days or whatever it is, it can take a lot out of you physically as well.
Yeah, interesting, Alice. From just watching table tennis matches, it seems that a lot of the players do get excited. There's a lot of fist pumping and a lot of showing and a lot of yelling. So yeah, whereas I think if you look back at, say, the Swedes, they seem to be a bit more calm. So like Janove Voldner was more calm in general. Do you think table tennis is a sport where more excitement is needed to compared to, say, tennis?
Not really. No, I mean, same body, same ideas. I mean, I think, if you're in a combative sport, yes, I think you probably need to be up a little bit higher. But in a sport like table tennis, where then you need to have a really, really clear mind, and the ball's coming fast at you, and you need to be able to watch carefully, I think you need to be a little bit calmer and lower in general.
Okay. So watching the Pro Tour and seeing players play, do you think a lot of players could actually come down a notch and play a little bit better?
Yeah, I do. I do think that. I think a lot of players, just really get a little bit over the top and too high. Having said that, it almost becomes part of what they do. So the choing and then they're not actually getting up that high by doing that, because that just becomes natural and part of what they're doing. And I don't think it really helps anyone.
Okay, interesting.
Except it probably does make it more appealing to the spectators.
Maybe. I mean, some people don't like that, like think it's a bit too over the top. And so, I guess it's, some people like it, some people don't.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, very interesting question, Tusha. And recently, it's kind of related. We were talking about the free throw record, Alois, where some guy shot for 7 hours straight without missing to set the world record. And there was, a free throw coach who said he didn't like people to think about positive thoughts or negative thoughts before making a shot, because he thought that took away from just thinking about the technique. So I guess if you're getting too excited, does it really help? Do positive thoughts really help? Or should you just be focused on the ball, on what's happening right now? And that's the only thing that matters.
Yeah, I think so. I think that, really good. I actually started listening to that podcast, and that reminds me, I fell asleep while listening to it. I was pretty tired at the time. It was really interesting though, so I've got to go back and listen to it all. It's quite a long podcast. I think it's 30-40 minutes or something.
But, something like that, about half an hour. Yeah,
it
was so interesting. You fell asleep.
Yeah, I can fall asleep anywhere at any time. So
brilliant.
Yes, especially watching or listening to things, I can fall asleep. No, I can fall asleep pretty easily.
Very good. All right, let's move on to a question from Romeo, who says, I've got a new fast blade along with fast rubbers, Tenergy 05 and Jeweler Explode. And now I can't seem to lift backspin balls properly. How do I overcome this? I think it's because I've lost the skill, kind of like the yips.
Okay. So firstly, you haven't lost a skill. Secondly, I think it's probably better if you just go back to a slower bat. So what happens is when you get a faster bat, the ball will come out really fast off your racket. So instead of that softer, slower ball where the ball's lifting, the ball's coming out really quickly, and that will tend to mean that the ball will go into the net more. The second thing that happens is that when the bat gets really fast and you start to become a little bit more tentative, because you know that the ball's going to come out fast, so you just start to play the ball softly, and you tighten up because you're trying not to hit the ball too hard, and that can interfere with the working of your stroke. So this might be your stroke. You get a faster bat, and then you start doing this to try to just get the ball on the table. So everything tightens up, your stroke becomes different. So it's not the yips, it's just you're worried or you're anxious about what your bat's going to do, and you're not sure. So yeah, it sounds like you might have stepped up a little bit too quickly in the speed of your racket. Perhaps just try go back to your previous racket if you've still got it, and just do your stroke again. Get the feel of it and see if you can get that feeling of the stroke back. And maybe, I don't know, maybe put that bat away for a little bit longer, and get some slower rubbers.
Yeah, good advice, Alois. And we do have a lesson on choosing a bat, which kind of goes through the stages about when you should upgrade to different bats. But yeah, you don't want to be compromising your stroke because you're worried about it getting it on the table because your bat's too fast. So yeah, if you're feeling like that, Romeo, then take Alois's advice, try a slower one. Yeah, if you're still feeling good, I mean, maybe you just need some more practice as well. Maybe just get out and do 100 or 200 balls of getting someone to feed you some backspin, and just practice doing the full stroke, and see if the skill comes back. But yeah, good luck, Romeo. Let us know how you get on. All right, Alois, that wraps up show 201. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Make sure you get involved. Answer the PingSkills question of the day for your chance to win one of those premium memberships this week. And thank you, Alois.
Yeah, thank you, Jeffrey. And we will see you again tomorrow morning.
Will do. Catch ya. Bye.